What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Some commentary for you. I was going to include this in last night's video, but number one, time constraints wouldn't really allow me to do it. And number two, I just didn't feel like it was the right time and place. This is a tweet from Rex Dixon roughly about 4 months ago. Now, retrospectively, we know that Rex is no longer with EA. But what we can surmise from this tweet is a couple things. Franchise in Madden 19 was more played than franchise in years prior. That includes the user interface upgrade they did a couple years ago when they kind of made that push for CFM. Now, while this doesn't directly correlate, well, you guys showed up in record numbers for franchise and dwarfed the numbers in MUT or dwarfed the numbers in long shot, it at least tells us that it's still a viable tool that EA uses to market the game. Now, he goes on to say, we owe you guys a big year in 2019. So without reading too much into this, essentially, maybe franchise has been neglected to a point. We're going to make it better. We know that you guys are playing it, and you deserve it to be best in class. So we also know now that Rex was concerned, or at least concerned enough to put in his kind of resignation publicly, that Madden was going to look for a different direction. This is Rex Dixon's direction. Make no bones about it. I've had the pleasure of talking to Rex several times. He's been on my channel multiple occasions. I've met Rex a number of times. We can, again, fault the execution. We can fault the direction. But you can't tell me that he wasn't gearing things towards simulation football, because I know he was. You can fault the way it was executed through programmers, you can fault the way it was displayed through marketing, but at its core, simulation football is what Rex Dixon pushed for gameplay. Didn't mean it made it to the disc, but that's what he pushed for. So knowing now that there's a different direction from this, it leaves a lot of us to wonder. I mean, the problem is very, very clear. Franchise mode is bad. Franchise mode has been bad. And it's not for simple reasons. It's not a single year fix. It's not a single problem. It lacks everything that makes a game good. It lacks depth. It lacks replay value. It lacks any emotional connection you can make to the game. It actually has a lot of the qualities that make games horrible. It is boring. It is repetitive. It does not make you care about what happens. These are things that have needed to be addressed. These are concerns the community, no matter whose channel you go to, at least in one way, shape, or form. We may disagree on a lot of things, but we can all actually rally to the point that if we look at franchise in Madden and we compare it to in-class titles, it's nowhere near where it needs to or should be. Madden should be leading these conversations. MLB The Show should be looking at Madden and saying, what are they doing that we can put into our game? And we're nowhere near there. In fact, we can actually take it back to the independent games. I can tell you, having played both games, beyond the shadow of a doubt, unquestionably, it is harder to build a team to win in Access Football than it is in Madden. And I have a video to prove that. Doesn't mean that Access is a better game. It just means that in terms of team building, as simplistic as Access Football 17 was, with no free agency, with only a draft and cutting players, it somehow managed, using only player attributes, to be more of a challenge building a team than Madden 18 did. Like it or not, play both games, that's a fact. But we do have to have concern as a community about what the direction of this game is. Because I will tell you right now, if the direction of this game is long shot, that is a problem. Because long shot was not well received. I don't discredit the time, I don't discredit the effort, I don't discredit what they were attempting to do, but to be fair at its face, Long Shot was a game mode that offered you no ability to play. Long Shot was initially sold to us, and I wish I could find the video, because I feel like it's been taken down intentionally, by a group of community members at EA Sports that talked about how unique and different every game of Long Shot would be, and how every time you booted it up, the character would grow and expand at a different pace. No one would have the same repetitive stories, and it would be a unique experience. And that, my friends, is just not true. It's just not true. There are game segments that are the same no matter what you do. If you try to lose, it will force you to play it until you win. That is not unique. That is not different. That is a glorified movie that you play out. No one asked for that. I don't mind if you're going to give me a game mode I don't ask for, but if you're going to do it, at least make it worth my time to play. You know, conversely, Madden Ultimate Team has been the direction. That's not a surprise. And in a way, and this obviously has been something a lot of people don't like to hear me say, but in a way, I guess I'm okay with it. If Madden Ultimate Team is going to make Madden money, and EA money, and they're going to put all that extra resource, all that extra income into making the game better, then I'm all for that. If you want to take someone's parents $17 to purchase a pack of cards that are meaningless because the players don't matter and the ratings are the same, and DDA controls the game outcome anyway, but this kid wants to buy a $20 pack in addition to the disc, and you're going to take that $20 and you're going to, over the course of a year, give me unique presentation options, or put different commentators in the game, or put that into developing a game mode for franchise that actually looks and functions like an NFL team, then I'm not going to be the one that sits back here and says, don't do it. I'm going to actually do the complete opposite. I'm not going to sit here and blow packs up on my channel, but I don't have a problem with them making money if they're going to end result a better game. The problem is that isn't what's happening, and that hasn't been what's been happening for a very long time, and we're in a position now where we see independent games come in very short order, take much fewer resources on a much smaller dev team, and create a better product that you can tell 1 year from the next to the next to the next. Where a AAA title like Madden, you have a hard time, other than graphically, distinguishing between 1 year to the next to the next to the next. And ultimately, maybe that end result is what has people out the door at EA, but I know that wasn't the direction that they were taking. And if there is a new direction now, don't fault me for having some concerns about what it is, because the 3-year plans that have been executed haven't netted a better result. And I need to see someone with a better 3-year plan than Rex Dixon had. Fault the executions all you want, but the 3-year plan that he had was pretty well sound. From revamping the line to revamping the interactions for wide receiver and defensive backs, that wasn't a bad 1-2 step. It didn't show up in the product, though. Love to know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know that I will be back in the week with more commentary.